Hey everybody, this is So Many Sequels. I'm Josh.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm David.
Welcome to the show. Here to talk about movies and what we love about them, I guess. It was real committed to that.
Yeah.
It's the end of A24 April. A24.
It is.
April, A24 month. We're
A24 and out.
the last movie of the month.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. A24 and out. I don't know.
Say it with confidence.
Wait, what are
and
you
people will
sipping on
believe
there?
you. Just apple juice, man. It's just apple juice.
Okay.
Listen, I want to go on a rant here real quick because I always feel like a child because I don't like orange juice. I don't like the taste. I don't like oranges in general.
Okay.
But every time I order apple juice, I feel like a 4-year-old because they don't just, it seems unacceptable as an adult to want apple juice, but it's always acceptable to want orange juice. And I just feel like we need to shift that narrative there.
It's
Apple
true.
juice is delicious and orange juice is pulpy and weird.
Well, for the podcast audience, you definitely are presenting it as if it could be something harder than apple juice.
Yeah, with your fancy glass.
Fancy glass,
And,
an inch of it, a thimble.
I mean, orange juice is what's the alcoholic drink that everybody has that has like orange juice as an element? Is it a mimosa?
Yeah.
Is there an apple juice equivalent to the mimosa?
You can just use apple juice, but I mean, to replace orange juice with apple juice makes you just sound a little more childish.
You might as well ask for a chocolate milk.
Now,
Exactly.
that is the old, like, if you want to just commit to being a child, just order chalky milk.
Yeah, and then you go, plain milk's fine.
Yes.
We're inevitably out.
Don't worry about
There you
that.
go.
Well, our last movie of the month for April is Uncut Gems. Stick around for that if you're in the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to make sure you get that full video when it drops. But let's talk about what's been going on lately this week. I know we've all caught up on some movies. Garrett, we actually talked about this either last episode or one before, how you wanted to watch the X and Pearl movies. We talked a little bit. You got to dive into X, right?
Yeah, I was able to find some time to watch X and give that a shot. It's been on my list, and you know what? It was weird, man. It was A24 weird. Josh, I feel like you might be the only person that remembers this movie, but it gave me The Visit vibes. You have that older people element. You know, The Visit deals with this thing called sundowning, and I feel like that was an unspoken element of some of these characters in there. I really liked the nods that they had to older horror movies. There were some shots in there that were just so, Easter egg iconic. You know, you can tell they had, the long shot down the hall of, like a la of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or the psycho shot of above in the shower. And so I really liked those elements. It was weird, and it went in ways that I didn't expect it. And so I really enjoyed it. I thought I'm excited about Pearl, and I'm excited about Maxine to see how all of those kind of connect. Josh, I feel like you didn't like X as much as Pearl, right?
Well, yeah, I like Pearl more. It's not that I dislike X or anything, but I think when I first saw it, I was like, all right. And then I saw Pearl, and then what they're doing with it and all that, and I was like, oh, now I like it even. I kind of appreciate it more from this bigger trilogy perspective they're doing, and I just kind of... Pearl is a different type of movie, I feel like, and I just enjoyed it more. So I wouldn't knock.
I'm excited to try it out.
Wouldn't knock it by any means. I've thought about watching it again sometime too. Yeah, it's good. Would you? How do you feel about it for David? Is it too scary for him? Do you think?
I don't think that it was.
Because he's the manager of William Jr.
I know, but he does one of those things where he also finds them boring if something, and so I feel like it takes a little while for it to get going, and so I think that he would be bored before he got scared, and I think that would suck him out of it. And then I think it would go down a weird rabbit hole that he just wouldn't.
But then there's also, before we even let him speak, there's also the times where when a movie really scares him, he also claims he was bored.
That's true. I don't think this one would actually.
He's either really bored or really scared. You can't tell sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes they are boring.
So, yeah,
A la
fair.
Paranormal Activity, but sometimes they're very scary. Like Hereditary. What do you think? So your question last week was, is it good for so many scares? Have you answered your own question there?
I think it would be a good, like, if we were going to analyze it to compare it with some, like, you know, what can we find a la some, like, old horror movie? Like, I think that would be a fun discussion.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to watch Pearl and then provide an update here when you can. David, have you watched anything new this week?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I think you guys offered last week, you had kind of offhand mentioned a new documentary on Max called American Bombing Road to April 19th, which is about the bombing of the Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, which the three of us know a decent amount about, just kind of growing up in this area. But it was, I haven't watched that many documentaries about it. At times, I'm kind of surprised that with the way Hollywood works, it hasn't been like a film at this point. But I'm also kind of glad that it hasn't been, because I know how Hollywood kind of handles these sorts of things. So I don't know. But this documentary was very interesting because they really analyzed the culture at the time of the incident and sort of the years prior, and sort of I guess more so than I actually realized, the actual historical significance of the April 19th date, and how it's not like a one-off. It's not like, and it's not even like a two-off. It's like a recurring number. It's a recurring date in history, especially in terms of the significance to the far right. It's a significant date. I think one of the first battles of the American Revolution was on April 19th. So it goes all the way back to that. And so they kind of looked at the environment that sort of created Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols and the events that went around that. It didn't spend a ton of time on the bombing itself, or it didn't even spend too much time on the trial. Like, it spent a little bit of time on the trial, but a lot of it was built around just what went into fermenting that radicalization. So it was interesting from that perspective. I was very tired watching it, so it felt about 20 minutes too long at the time, but that's probably just me being tired. It's a decent watch. Now, if you know the history pretty well yourself, it may not be the most revelatory, but there was some interesting stuff. They found a few interesting people to talk to about it.
Did you watch that too, Garrett? You were the one who brought that up, I think.
I brought it up. I had started it, but I had not had a chance to finish it. So David definitely got more in depth of it. I think I only got like 10 minutes in before I had to turn it off. But this is definitely something that I'm more interested in learning about. Growing up here again, it was 1990. What year?
5.
5. Yeah.
5. And so I was very young, and I don't remember a lot of the specifics. It's also my mom's birthday, so it's kind of a weird dynamic on that day. So I'm definitely want to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I would like to watch that as well. Because I remember hearing about this a few years ago, but I didn't really know much about it at the time. But I know that the current Attorney General of the United States, Merrick Garland, was the trial judge, was he not? Is that correct?
He was the Attorney General. That was he was the leading prosecutor, essentially.
Yeah, so I'm very interested in that element as well. I'll have to watch that. I went and saw a classic movie at the theater, which was fun. For the 25th anniversary, The Mummy has been re-released in theaters, so I went and saw that Friday night with a pretty good crowd. I'd say it was probably about half full or so, which I think was decent for the night. There was some little bit of rowdiness from some kids at the beginning, but you know what? They took themselves out like 20 minutes in. They were a little rambunctious.
It's always nice.
But the one thing I did like is there was a lot of engagement. Like, look, The Mummy's great. Maybe we'll cover it someday.
Oh no, we did.
We did already?
Yeah, for Brendan Fraser.
Oh, that's right.
Fraser.
I'm dumb. I was thinking of it as the series.
I made the joke last week to Josh's movie memories, like 2 weeks, and here it comes back.
Look, we've ignored it on the show, but we've surpassed 300 episodes now, so it gets difficult to remember what you watch for the show and what you just watch.
That's why you can find the full list at SoManySequels.com.
Exactly. But I was just going to say I don't want to repeat it all, so go ahead and just listen to what I said in Brendan Fraser back at SoManySequels.com. But it was fun to see the crowd like really into it. There was a lot of laughs. There's a lot of great laugh lines that, I don't know that I saw this movie in theaters originally. I was like 8 or 9 when it came out, so I don't remember that. And the laugh lines don't hit it home because you don't know as a kid what's actually funny. So it's fun to see that.
Yeah, you're so used to them by now. Yeah.
Still yet today, guys, I swear to you both that there were girls giggling when Brendan was on screen. He's such a hunk.
He's a gorgeous boy.
Yes, and that was
handsome
why I was like,
man.
oh, look, listen to them. They're giggling over that boy. So The Mummy, I don't know how long it's playing in theaters, but recommend going to see it on the big screen if you can, because it is just another one of those movies that they don't make like that anymore. Even when they try, like last year's Indiana Jones movie had something missing.
Yeah.
That is
too much
just
to live
not
up to.
in movies that are made today. I don't know what it is.
Hey, Josh.
Because it's all written to a formula. They just want max audience. The care's not quite there.
Well,
it's
and
just like, crank out another one, Jerry.
Well, and I'll say too, I kind of offhand mentioned it there, but it's too big of a mountain. I think like the legacy of some of these films are just so hard to overcome that it's like it's like impossible hype. But Josh, since this is 2024, it's the 25th anniversary of the greatest year in movies, a book you've read, 1999.
Yeah.
You've talked about that book many times before. So some other big movies are getting a 25th anniversary this year as well.
Ooh, note for the producers. Man, we need a 1999 month where we revisit some of the best movies in 1999.
Ooh.
Oh man, I wonder which ones.
My
we've already
recollection
done.
is
Write it down.
we've got November, and November 1999 sounds pretty good to me.
It does. We'll party like it's 1999. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a great month. Stay tuned, everybody. So many sequels.
We're going to forget as soon as this episode.
That's why it's recorded.
That's what you got me for.
That's why we're recording it, and we'll put it to paper. Okay. Yeah, The Mummy. Go see that. And we'll have to check out what other 1999 movies we might want to revisit later on down the line. But let's go ahead and switch up, start moving toward wrapping this one up here. And David, do you have a little state of the box office for the week? Any big crazy moves?
Well, for this weekend, it's actually been, I believe, Challengers. That's been kind of the big movie at the box office, starring Zendaya and two white dudes. That movie brought in $15 million in its opening week in 3,400 theaters. So I mean, like that's not too bad when you consider it's kind of a low stakes. It's not really a tennis movie, but tennis is in it. And then after that, I don't know what this movie is. It's a movie called Unsung Heroes is number 2 with $7.7 million. And number 3, you have Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, still in the top 3 with $7.2 million. Civil War is still hanging on with $7 million. And Abigail, which Josh gave us a little review of last week, brings in $5.2 million. Just to quickly round out the top 10, you got The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, Kung Fu Panda 4, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, Dune 2, and the debuting Boy Kills World, which, Garrett, I think we talked a little bit about. You had been really late to seeing the trailers for this, but it's like a movie with, what is it, Bill Skarsgård?
Skarsgård and H. John Benjamin, teaming
Like,
up together in one Bob's Burger Murders universe.
Yeah, he's just narrating it like the whole time. She's like, I can't believe this guy's going to kill me. This is crazy, the whole time. Slight impression for you of Bob's Burgers there.
It wasn't bad.
Been working on it. So, I mean, overall for 2024, it's been kind of an interesting year so far. I was responding to a Reddit the other day where people were like, has 2024 been kind of underwhelming so far? And compared to 2023, we are down about 20% overall box office. 2023 did have some more big hitters in the first quarter. That was when Super Mario Brothers debuted. Quantumania, even though that didn't have great legs, it still opened over 100 million. And there was at least one other big movie that year. So far, the movie of the year is Dune 2. followed by Kung Fu Panda. It's going to be interesting to see if we have a $1 billion movie this year. A lot of people are pinning their hopes on things like Furiosa, things like Deadpool and Wolverine. But it's very likely that this could be the first uncompromised movie year since 2007 without a $1 billion movie at the worldwide box office. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year, but I think this is the long-term effects of the strikes from last year, and how a lot of movies got pushed back or got canceled altogether. So 2024, we'll see how it goes.
2024.
Let's just get through it.
The theme there. That's all for this episode of So Many Sequels. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or in your favorite podcast app to keep up with new episodes and reviews from us. You can also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Facebook to stay in touch and let us know what you think of the show and the movies we're watching. Just search at So Many Sequels in those apps. And finally, you can go to SoManySequels.com for all those links and a catalog of all of our past episodes. We'll be back next time.